Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the International Music Reviews podcast, a podcast on which I and a co-host talk about all kinds of music and other stuff and just randomly roundabout stuff. My name is Mr. Eddie, and as I said before, I have a co-host, and his name is Greg. Say hello, Greg.
Hello.
Yeah, that's the German word for hello. That doesn't have to be growled or something because Greg likes to randomly growl while speaking German.
Yeah, well, if you've ever heard like the northern German accent, Mr. Eddie, there's a lot of harsh, guttural stuff when they speak the language and some growling going on. So I'm just trying to kind of fit in with the German accent a bit more since, you're German.
Oh yeah. Well, I can assure you that maybe the northern German accents may sound a little bit more rough or harsh than the southern German accent, but I don't remember anybody growling. Anybody that I know.
Well, the Swabian accent is a little bit more sweet sounding. So I've never heard, anybody on your side or anybody I know from southern Germany to have a harsh accent or growl, but there you go,
Yeah, whatever. So, this time actually we came together again talking about an album. Like we love this show here. And yeah, actually I think Greg let me pick the and I said well, why don't we do something of an album of an artist we both know very well, and so basically I said, oh, let's talk about Michael Jackson and Michael Jackson album, and well, we thought before, and we thought it would be a little bit too much of a cliche to talk about Thriller, because I mean that's the best-selling album of all time. And we already talked about Bad, the album Bad in our previous podcast, and we also talked about Off the Wall, and so yeah, and since Greg doesn't only has those 4 albums like Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, and Dangerous, like 4 albums of Michael Jackson as a CD, we decided to just talk about the Dangerous album, because that's the album we've never really talked about on a podcast, except for Thriller. But that would be, I mean, it would be a little bit cliche, like, if we talked about Thriller or something. Or maybe we can do that in a future episode when it's like years, or at least weeks down the road or something. But not now. So we decided to talk about Dangerous. And the album was released when Greg here was almost 2 or like closer like to 1.5 and a 6-year-old. So I was -6. So the album was released in 1991, and actually late 1991, like November 1991, so almost 1992. And it was received pretty successfully. So it got pretty positive reviews. There were 9 of the 14 songs were released as a single, which was really not bad. Actually, it was really good. Anything else? You can think about Dangerous, like background fact, something of Dangerous, or do you want to just start telling our listeners here how you got to know Michael Jackson and that album, Dangerous in general?
Well, since you're the big Michael Jackson fan, out of the two of us, I'll tell you what.
What?
I'll let you start, and you can kind of give a little bit of a history on, you and Michael Jackson and getting into Dangerous and stuff. And I'll let you go first, and then I'll talk about it because I got kind of a funny story about this album. So I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, I got to know Michael Jackson back in 2005 or something, when I was around 8, because of like the child abuse allegations and stuff. That all that stuff was shown on TV in the news, and well, as a kind. Well, and then when I watched like a news show or something, I was not really interested in like political stuff or news in general back then, when I was 8 or something, but I was but I remember that I randomly saw like I don't know, Michael Jackson and that case, like the allegation shit and stuff mentioned in a TV show or in the news, and then they like cut in a kind of flashback of the of Michael Jackson's like musical career or something, and I was pretty impressed. I mean, I saw like mostly music videos like Thriller, that and stuff, and I was like, this sounds interesting. So I got more into Michael Jackson, and I wanted my parents to get me a greatest hits album, which was at that point I got the #1 album as a present or something from my parents, and from that point onwards I started really like getting the albums and everything. And even my wall in my old room, or actually it's still my room, but I had like collected like, I would say 50 posters of Michael Jackson and in random, I don't know, magazines or something, and so I cut them out and just hung them on my wall, and like my wall was full of Michael Jackson posters and stuff, and it was really it actually looked really great and stuff. So yeah, and that's the album Dangerous. I think I like bought the albums, like all the Michael Jackson albums chronologically, at least the solo albums from Off the Wall onwards. I mean, there's like the Motown solo albums, but I bought them later. So the Dangerous was actually my 4th Michael Jackson album, not counting that greatest hits compilation or something. So I basically I think I got the album. I think I got Dangerous album like when I was 9 or 10 or something. So yes, like 10 years ago or 11. And yeah, that's basically my background history of Michael Jackson and how I got introduced to the Dangerous album. What is your little background story?
Well, I first heard about Michael Jackson way back in around grade school. I want to say around 2000 or so, because my 5th grade teacher, loved and probably still loves the Jackson 5, and she would bring in like a greatest hits CD and play it in the classroom every now and then. So I kept hearing stuff like ABC and I Want You Back and Dancing Machine and like all those random little their hit singles a lot, and so that was really, I think, my first exposure to anything related to Michael Jackson or anything related to the Jacksons or Jackson 5 or anything like that. As far as Michael Jackson in terms of a solo performer and solo album stuff, that would be about a year later. I was kind of going through my dad's and my mother's cassette tapes to just see what kind of music to listen to, because around that time I was trying to figure out what kind of music to really like, and I did not have a big CD collection at all. I just had like a handful of stuff, mostly like a couple of blues albums. I still have those albums today, and like a Rolling Stones album and a few others. I can't really name off the top of my head, but I know I had at least those three, and then some borrowed CDs from my dad. When I was going through my mother's tapes, I first noticed that she had 2 copies of the same album, and it was Thriller. I don't know, one copy was for listening purposes, and the other was either for display purposes or just in case the other copy got stolen. So I borrowed one of those and put it in a little portable tape player that I had, and I liked it. I thought it was a great album, Thriller, and of course more on that later. But that was my first exposure to Michael Jackson as a solo artist. And I also want to thank Michael Jackson for indirectly introducing me to Paul McCartney and stuff, so he always gets credit for that. But as far as Dangerous is concerned, it was my third Michael Jackson album that I got. It was definitely early 2000s. I want to say 2002, 2003, somewhere around there. And I remember the story. Went to my grandmother's house, and my aunt was there as well. And we go there, and I think I was sitting in the living room just like playing video games or something totally unrelated. And then my aunt was like, "Hey, let's go to the music store. I want to get something." So I'm like, "Okay." So, I'd go with her. We drove to some music store or a store with a big CD shop. I think it might have been a Best Buy or something. And then, she was like, go pick out an album you want. Because she wanted to get me something as well. She didn't tell me. I was like, oh, thanks. So I'm going through it. And around this point, I had Michael Jackson's Thriller and the Bad album on those special editions on those CDs. I still have them, although the cases are fucked up now and the booklets are even more fucked up. And I saw Michael Jackson. I'm like, oh, what is he got here? So I saw Thriller in there, and then I saw another one of his albums that I didn't have. It was Dangerous. Unfortunately, that was the only copy in the entire store, and the reason I say unfortunately is because the case was completely smashed. And yeah, it was like the glass was shattered on it. And I'm like, really? And but I still got it. The guy at the counter gave us like a discount on it, which was great. The actual CD was fine. There was nothing wrong with the CD, but the case was totally smashed up to bits. I don't know how that happened. The booklet was fine, but I lost that a long time ago because we had to pry the case into different pieces to get the CD out. And I listened to it in her car, from the beginning. It was about a 20-minute drive or so. So I heard like the first 3-4 songs, and I'm like, oh, okay, different sound, this is gonna be the album I'm gonna hear. So we get back to Grandma's house. My aunt immediately takes the CD and the case to her computer office, and I don't know how she did it because I went into the other room for probably to play video games again. Uh, she took a black plastic, cheap case, for CDs, and put the CD in there, and then she somehow managed to get the whole booklet and the inside label and everything out of the broken case and put it into that case and salvage it as best she could. So you probably have seen that makeshift case.
Oh yeah.
On the Dangers, and that's her work. But hey, the CD was fine, so I don't give a shit. But hey, that's it was kind of a little anecdote of how I got the album. But yeah, I've had Dangers for about 13, 14 years or so. And this album has really changed a lot of, say, my views on the album. Because, when I was younger, I had a different view, and then years ago I had a different view. Now I listened to the album again a couple more times just to kind of refresh my memory and remember the songs. And some songs have grown on me that I didn't like before. Others are different, but this one for me, this album is something where time has changed my view on quite a bit of the material, and I'll let you know what I think of the songs. So that's all about I have for a little background. Why don't you start, Mr. Eddie?
Yeah, I forgot, when I introduced the album to the listeners, I forgot to mention that this is the first album after Forever Michael, like the Motown solo album that was not produced by Quincy Jones, because Off the Wall, Thriller, and that were produced. And Michael kind of changed the genre of the music genre slightly, because this album introduces him producing a new that recording genre called New Jack Swing, which we will hear later on some songs on the album. That was the brief thing I had to add. So the first title on the album is called Jam. And this is a song that actually really grew on me. I don't know, when I 10, 11 or something, I remember me always skipping that song or not liking the song in general. It was, I don't know, I was pretty much a little bit disappointed, because it sounded probably so different from what I heard on other on previous Michael Jackson albums, and I was like, I don't know, it just sounds like Michael Jackson wanted to stay cool, stay in the music, the music trends to that time, to 1991, and I don't know, I just didn't like it, and I didn't like the fact that the song features Heavy D, rapping in the bridge of the song, and now or actually it happened quite a few years ago when my English skills kind of increased and stuff and get better. I started to look at the lyrics, which are about racial problems, discrimination, and everything like that. I actually started to really like the song, and nowadays I actually think it's a great opener to an album. It doesn't sound wrong for me anymore, so I do like the song. And actually, if you're a fan of live stuff from Michael Jackson. I would have really liked for Michael to sing that song live on the Dangerous Tour. He performed it live on the Dangerous Tour, but he lip sync the song, so it's not really live. It's just like, yeah, he just moved his lips while the tape was playing through the speakers or something on the stage. So yeah, and also what I think is really cool about the song is its music video. I mean, when you are more familiar with Michael Jackson, you know that his music videos are really special. I mean, he produced Thriller and Dad, which are really famous music videos on previous albums. And on the music video of Jam, you see Michael Jackson and the basketball player Michael Jordan, like in the video, and Michael Jordan is kind of like teaching Michael how to play basketball, and and then in a kind of extended version of the music video shows you like how Michael Jackson tried to show Michael Jordan how to dance, which is really cool. So yeah, it was a big grower on me, and nowadays I really like the song. What do you think about Jam?
For me, this is a song that I really liked when I first heard the album, and I still like it, even today. It's got a really cool groove to it. Yeah, definitely when you hear this, it's a lot different than all the previous Michael Jackson songs. It's New Jack Swing. It's that contemporary R&B, hip hop kind of mishmash, and it has like an urban feel to it. I like it. I think the song's actually a little bit overstretched in spots, but it's got a cool rhythm to it, which I like. I like the horns in there. The Heavy D's rap section I like. It fits the song pretty well. Agree with you on the music video. I think it's really cool. Has some cameos by Naughty by Nature and Criss Cross, which that hip hop duo Criss Cross, they're famous for like one song, but they're also famous for wearing their clothes backwards. So there's two things that are notable about that group. But yeah, I really like Jam. I think it's a great song, a good opener to the album. And yeah, I've always liked this one. It's really cool to hear the different like sound effects, kind of the more gritty, urbanized, sound to it. And I think it works well for the most part on this song. It's a good opener. I do like Jam a lot. And the next song is called Why You Wanna Trip on Me. This is one of the two songs on the album where Michael did not write or have a co-write on it. So, and despite that, I like this one a lot. It's got a cool rhythm to it. I love the chorus. And the vocal arrangement's very cool, and I really love the lyrics on the song. It's very dark themed. It's about negative topics and bad stuff that's going around in the world at the time. Talks about drug addiction, homeless people, racism, police brutality. That's most likely a reference to probably I want to say for the Rodney King controversy, which I believe was still pretty new at the time. So, because that was back in I think like the spring of that year, so so it was still pretty fresh. But the song itself I love. It's got some cool rhythms in it, and yeah, it's actually a song that's in my top tier for the album. It's one of my favorites, and I really like it. How about you, Mr. Eddie?
I yeah, it's like this song is one of the more aggressive Michael Jackson songs in general. Like even his tone is while singing is really aggressive. Um, Great lyrics, but and also I would also say the song is always also like towards like people like from the press or something, like journalists, something who like always wanted to get news or create scandals about Michael Jackson and stuff, and it's I would interpret the lyrics of the song to be like there's so much other shit going on in the world, like don't you first try to fix that stuff before you like keep you know always talking or mentioning me when or saying bad things about me. So I would kind of interpret it like the lyrics of the song that way. Um, well, it's a really good song. It's like if you remember, if you have listened to the album, the previous album, there's the song "Leave Me Alone," and it's that's like "Why You Wanna Trip on Me" is like leave me alone, like part 2 or something if you want that, and it's much more aggressive. And I really liked it. It's not my favorite song on the album, but it's probably my top. Yeah, it's probably in the top three of my favorite songs on the album. Okay, the next song would be in the closet. That's the title, In the Closet. And I would like, I mean, I don't know if what you guys think, but when I hear the when I hear like the term "in the closet," I always think about somebody who is like, yeah, somebody who is like tries to hide his or her like identity, like if it's with like gender identity or like sexual identity, in terms of just like being homosexual or something. It's just having that stuff in the public, and that's what I first. I didn't think that like that. I didn't really think about that when I first listened to the song because my English skills weren't that good anyway, like that around the time. And the thing is, I mean, like I was like probably like 9 or 10 when I listened to that song first. So yeah, I didn't really think about that. But nowadays, I really think it's kind of like who the hell calls a song would name a song, like give the song the title "In the Closet," because I mean the song is not even gay gay stuff or like homosexual stuff in general, because it's there's a line in the lyrics of the song called "Don't hide our love, woman to men." So there's no homosexual thing going on in the lyrics of the song. However, the lyrics are pretty, I would say, cheeky, and they're like create a lot of innuendos, like in terms of intimate stuff. And when you hear the song, you'll hear Michael like moan during the song, which sounds actually, well, I don't know, it sounds like you're watching a fucking porn video instead of listening to a Michael Jackson album. Yeah, and also the song is featuring the voice of Princess Stephanie of Monaco, as a female part of the song. Yeah, I think it should be like it was intended to sound like really I don't know, like I don't know, maybe he wanted to impress like the female listeners or something of the album, but I don't know, it's like it actually makes me I would never listen to that song in public. Like I would probably blush when that song would be played on the radio or something. Cause it's not. Yeah, it's not that kind of song. Like it's no, it's not that kind of song you want to listen to in public. Though I kind of like it, but I would never listen to it in public. It's that again. The song has like the new jack swing going on, and sounds like sounds like typically early 90s R&B, new jack swing stuff, and the sound of the song itself, when you just ignore the content of the lyrics, is good. Also the music video, if you watch that, it's pretty cheeky. It's like you have to watch it yourself. It's Michael's making really like suggestive moves in the video. Let's just put it like that. What do you think about the song "In the Closet"?
Yeah, it is a very provocative song. That's one thing. This is a song that really did not age well with me personally. I liked it a lot better, back then. But I recently heard it, and I'm like, wow, I used to really like this. This is like not that good. It's just. It's just there on the album. It's just an early 90s New Jack Swing song about, keeping things in the closet and not open about stuff. And it's just there on the album. I really don't care for it, really. But it was massively successful. It was a top 10 hit here. And it was top 20 in your area, so
yeah. What do you think about the music video?
It's been a long time since I watched the music video, but I remember it being very cheeky and suggestive, and Michael. I don't know if it's true or not, but I read that he had like a personal trainer kind of like in the weeks prior to kind of like build a small like amount of like muscle and stuff to make him appear more fit for that video and stuff. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I read. But yeah, I don't really care for the song that much. It was the third of 9 singles released too, and also Jam was the fourth one. So yeah, 9 singles were released from this album. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really don't care for the song all that much. Sorry. Now the next one, She Drives Me Wild. Now, this one actually was a little bit of a grower because I used to not really like it when I was younger, but I kind of appreciate it a little bit more now. It's still not like great, but it's okay. It's got that cool funky R&B beat. I like the vocal arrangement in the choruses. And musically it's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I give it a moderate thumbs up. Although the rap part's stupid. So I hate that rap section. I wish they took it out of the song. So yeah, Rex in effect. He wrecked that song.
She drives me wild. Yeah, I think it's creative to just create like make or just take like the instrument out of the song and just create like sounds like the car, take all the car sounds and use those as instruments, and like for example like the horn for example, and other things like doors slamming, or like when the motor when you start a car with that sound. That's pretty cool as well. And I also like the yeah, I don't think it's in contrast to you. I think the rap solo is pretty cool. The rap section is pretty cool. I don't like the song in general, like Michael's singing or the lyrics in general. It's just like cheesy, like especially the lyrics are really cheesy. Um, and also what I don't really like about the song, it it just sounds or seems to be like pretty uncreative. When it comes to, like, I mean, you can use like maybe a few car sounds, uh, um, just using that as instruments, but you shouldn't really have a whole song without any kind of instrument and just put car sounds on it instead of. That's a little bit. It comes like sounds a little bit cheap or something to me. Um, yeah. So that's what I think about She Drives Me Wild. Our next song is called Remember the Time. Um, it has a real great instrumental, like, kind of intro. I like that beat. It sounds like kind of, the whole song sounds kind of mysterious. The lyrics are about, what I heard, is that they are about, Michael's time at Motown when he had a crush on Diana Ross, and so he kind of asks her to remember the time when they fell in love, and well, kind of. It's not really like there was not really a thing between those two, between Michael and Diana, but still, it's it it's a really great song. Like I said before, it had a real good groove to it. Sounds it sounds though like an early 90s song, which is not really that bad. I mean, it's okay. Especially like the music video was really cool with it, because it shows like the plot is set in ancient Egypt or something, where like the king and the queen are watching like people who should entertain them or something, and those people who don't entertain them enough or something are getting killed or something. And Michael appears as a stranger, and he kind of flirts with the queen, and actually the role as the king is played by Eddie Murphy. So yeah. So this like again, it's a great song on the album. It has a real cool music video to it. I mean, most of Michael's music videos are good. So yeah, that's my opinion on Remember the Time. What do you think about Remember the Time, Greg?
Remember the Time. This is my second favorite song off of the entire album. And this is one that I've always loved. It's got a, it's a very awesome, New Jack Swing style song. I love the vocal arrangement on it. and I think it's very well crafted. And I love the music video. The music video is awesome. And I love Michael's lead work on this song. It's really good. And I've always enjoyed Remember the Time. It gets repeated listens for me. It's second favorite song off the album. Now, next song is called Can't Let Her Get Away. This one was one that when I first heard it, I really didn't like it. I didn't really like it back then. It's it always got the skip treatment because it didn't really click with me. Nowadays, it's kind of in the same category as She Drives Me Wild. It's all right. It grew on me a bit. It's not something I would consider to be like amazing or anything, but it's okay. But I'm not really like a massive fan of it, but it's not horrible by any means. How about you, Mr. Eddie?
Well, I would say this is my least favorite song on the album. I can't really see anything special about it. I mean, it sounds kind of uninspired to me and stuff. And I heard that they took the song. They thought about the song that it had a special. I heard in an interview that they thought about the song that had special James Brown groove or something, or it sounded like it's James Brown hit or something. And I was like, this doesn't sound anything like James Brown. I don't like it either, and it's I don't know, it sounds like early 90s rubbish, musical rubbish or something. You can just like, I don't know, forget about it. It's not, I mean, I've heard far worse songs, but I mean the song would have had like 13 songs without Can't Let Her Get Away, so they just could have dropped it out, and the album would have been great anyway. So it's kind of like an unnecessary song for me on the album. Yeah, that's all I can say about it. It's just like uninspired and doesn't. I mean, yeah, it's just not the. I mean, it can't keep up with most of the other songs on the album. So yeah. The next song is called Heal the World. That's like, I mean, anybody who is like knows a little bit of a few Michael Jackson songs. I mean, the song is a must-know song. Like, you have to know because I mean, it's so it's like kind of an anthem for like world peace and all. Let's make it let's make the world a better place or something. And yeah, I like the intro where like the child talks and how the songs like then the instruments fade in and then Michael sings with his soft voice. And sometimes I think some songs, mostly later songs, I mean, he kind of exaggerated with like using his soft voice and always like speaking with his like soft, like that, with that soft voice, like even talking with it. I mean, not using his real voice instead of that. But in this song, I really like his soft voice, his soft vocals. It's a really good song. Although I can totally see when people say it's cheesy or something, because it's to a certain extent it is. But I mean, I don't really care about that, because it's a great song. It's not my favorite song on the album, but it's like in the top 3 or something. Like maybe my second favorite song on the album, maybe, or something. So yeah. So and also I would have, what I'm really what I really would have liked is for Michael to sing that song on the Dangerous Tour of Life, and not only like have the tape, like the record playing like through the speakers. So like, I don't know how he lip synced so many songs on the Dangerous Tour. I mean, especially the new songs, the songs on the Dangerous album. Um, yeah, I mean it would have. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing so that he could have ruined without singing that song actually live. And yeah, that's just. I mean, also yeah, and also something very interesting. Michael told on an interview in 2001 or something that he wrote that song on a special tree on his Netherlands ranch called the Giving Tree, which was later on made a parody of South Park as the Wishing Tree or something. Or yeah, so just that as a quick side note. How about you, Greg? What do you think about the song?
This song, it's really, I could see why someone would call it really cheesy and stuff, because it is. It's really sugary, sweet, and I mean it's so sweet and sugary that my cholesterol levels go all the way up listening to this song. I understand the sentiment and everything behind it, but I don't know. It's just I just can't get into this one. I'm sorry. It's just so it's so sugary, and I cringe hearing this one. I mean, I can imagine this song being played at like some like convention with with a bunch of like people in like cartoon costumes or in something, and have this playing. I don't know, but it's just I really can't get into this one. I'm sorry.
There's somebody who doesn't do anything to save or heal the world, because you eat meat all day, and you eat fast food all day, and
yeah, I am healing the world. I'm not wasting. So
what are you doing for healing the world?
I'm not wasting stuff.
Eat in terms of throwing away food or something?
Right, I don't waste food.
Oh yeah, you eat everything instead of you are fat. Yeah. Well, whatever. Go on.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I can't I can't really get into this song. I'm sorry.
You suck.
Sorry. All right, we'll move on to something better. All right, this song, Black or White, is my favorite song.
Turn that thing off.
But this is the best part. Yeah, that's referencing the hilarious music video, especially the introduction where you have Macaulay Culkin rocking out to the to that that song, and you have George Wendt, the father, yelling, "Turn that noise off!" and stomping up the stairs and everything. But yeah, I've always loved that music video, especially the really long uncensored version where everything's just better about the video, especially the last few minutes.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the song itself I love. It's my favorite. It's classic Michael. It's catchy. It's got if you're familiar with Guns N' Roses, it features Slash playing in the not the main song, but that introduction riff playing, the skit. but um, but no, he, because some people think he actually plays the guitar during the main normal song, but sadly he doesn't. But but the song itself I love. It's catchy, it's fun, mixes the New Jack Swing stuff with an edgier rock sound, and I think it's great. Great lyrics. Great lyrics. It's got a little rap section in there by I'm trying to remember the name. It's like, I think
LTV.
Yeah, Bill Bottrell, or I think is his name, but the rap's alright. I mean, it's a lot better than the crap on She Drives Me Wild, and it works for the song. But yeah, I totally love the song. My favorite off the album, one of my favorite Michael songs. Probably would put it in my top 10, probably. So yeah, I totally love it. How about you, Mr. Eddie?
Not gonna lie, I love that, like, really catchy guitar riff, and the music video is hilarious, and also the Michael's vocals, like, especially during the bridge of the song, it's like the more aggressive vocals are really cool to hear. The music video about it is also very cool with the Macaulay Culkin intro, and then the towards the end of the official version of the video, we have that face morph that was pretty new to that point, like in 1991. So it was it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see different people's faces like morphing and stuff. Also like the censored like version of the video, the uncensored version of the video, like the extended version, where I don't know, Michael is like a Black Panther, and then he, I don't know, goes back into Michael, or morphs back into Michael, and then he destroys a car or something, and does some cool dance moves, which is also pretty cool. So I don't really have a problem with it, with the extended version of the music video. So, and actually this was, up to that point, that was the most expensive music video that was produced up to that point. So yeah. Next, the next song of the album is called "Who Is It," which is like written by Michael Jackson just by himself. This is more like a darker song. It has a melancholic, like, I don't know, melody, or even like the instrumental section or something of the song is pretty mysterious, depressing, dark. I like that beat of the song, which is and also if you know, or if you watched the interview with Oprah Winfrey, the 1993 interview with Michael Jackson, you can hear him or see him beatboxing like the song, so which is pretty cool to see and hear. The song "Who Is It" is actually one of the little songs, like the average songs. I don't really like it all that much, but I don't really hate it or something, or it's nowhere as bad as "Can't Let Her Get Away." Yeah, and the music video, there's again a music video about the song. It's about like a girl cheating on, a girl like leaving Michael, and she wants to find out who the guys she cheated on or something. So I don't know. And she's trying to, so I mean, the music video is not really that amazing or something, or spectacular, like, especially in comparison to Black or White, to the music video of that, or some other stuff. No, it's okay. So, what do you think about the song Greg?
This one I like. I like, it's very subdued in a way, dark sounding. I like that. I like the synth bass throughout. It's very cool. Michael sounds pretty restrained on the song for the most part. Kind of gives it a kind of like an ominous, subtle feel to it. I really like this one. I would put this in my top 5, actually, for the album. And I personally like it, and I think I like it more than you. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that one. All right, the next one is "Give In to Me." Now, this song features Slash on it. So
as a guitarist,
as the guitarist, and it's kind of it's a mix of R&B and hard rock. It kind of gives it a little bit of a Wild Wild West kind of a feel to it. The whole tone of it, and it's okay. It's not, I would put this in the low average to average on the album. I like the chorus, and that's my favorite part of the song. Good vocals by Michael. All around, it's not a favorite, but it's just there. It's all right. I can name worse songs, but better songs. That's where I'll put it. How about you, Mr. Eddie?
Oh, Give In to Me, it's an awesome song. I really like that song, and I like the guitar playing on the song. I like everything. I don't only like the chorus or something. I also like the verses and basically everything. I mean, it's has a cool sound to it. It's a little bit more heavier and stuff. It sounds more yeah, it kind of sounds like some other songs Michael did recorded in the 80s, kind of a little bit like Dirty Diana. Like not when it comes to the lyrics, but at least like from the composition and look and when you look at the like melody and instrumentation and stuff. So it's really one of my favorite songs on the album. And the guitar playing by Slash is awesome. That's just what I'm gonna say about that song. Next song was called "Will You Be There," which is also, if you know the movie called You Really, it's
which I have.
Yeah, I know you do. I'm talking to the listeners. If anybody of you knows the movie, You Really, it's on the movie soundtrack, so you will hear that theme when you listen to this, when you watch the movie. And yeah, just that as a side note. The song actually starts with a long instrumental intro, or actually not instrumental intro, but it's the intro of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, and yeah, I don't really get it why he put that as a kind of intro for the song, because it just sounds off. It just sounds like it doesn't sound right it's on a fucking Michael Jackson album. It's not in a church music album or something.
I know you like church stuff, but
oh yes, I like church so much, but that's something else. Well, the other part of the song is are actually pretty good. I first thought like the normal part of the song, like with the normal verses and stuff, sounded to a certain extent sounded like a Christmas song. I always thought when I was like 9 or 10 or something, um, and or sound similar like to like some church songs you sing at Christmas. But then it, like as the song goes on, it sounds more like a gospel song, which is that's which I think be really cool. And at the end, you have that long outro, like instrumental outro, and then you hear Michael Jackson speaking like the, we're talking with that, and stuff, and which is a little bit. I mean, I like that spoken outro a little bit cheesy. Same as with the intro, like choosing the symphony by Beethoven as an intro is a is a little bit like kind of sounds a little bit inappropriate or something, at least for me. So yeah, but still, I like if I just ignore like the first few minutes out, like the intro, like the Beethoven intro of the song. It's a good song actually. Though I could understand why some people think it's cheesy and stuff, but I mean with the Beethoven intro, I kind of think why. that's everything. I mean it's just like they could have let the song. Have the song a few minutes shorter without the Beethoven intro, and everything would have been better. So, yeah. What did you think about Will You Be There?
Well, you said that they had to, cut a couple minutes off in the intro and stuff to make it better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a better idea that I think they should have done was to cut all 7.5 minutes because the song sucks.
Oh no.
I don't like this one at all. It grates on me. I never liked it. It was the worst part about Free Willy. And yeah, I felt so sorry for that whale having to sit through that movie listening to the soundtrack. But I never liked the song. I didn't like it when I first heard it. I don't like it listening to when I'm trying to watch Free Willy. Will You Be There? I wanted this to be off of Dangerous and off of Free Willy. I never liked this at all. I hate it. Next song. Are you okay?
Yeah.
We should watch Free Willy.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah, okay. The next song is called Keep the Faith. Now on this one, Michael Jackson borrowed this from Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
And actually, no, it's more like the other way around. I don't even know. They share the same title, but the Michael Jackson Keep the Faith. The intro I don't like at all. It's super cheesy. Don't like it. First 30 seconds or so, I wish were just cut off. But when the actual song kicks in with the beats and everything, it gets a little better. It's kind of a quasi gospel R&B New Jack Swing blend. It features a group of singers called the I'm not so sure on the pronunciation, but Andre or Crouch group or something. The Andre Crouch singers or something, and And I like their touch on it. It's musically it's pretty good. I mean, the song's okay. It's much better than the previous song, but it's just there on the album as filler. It's okay-ish, but I don't know. It's a song I really not a fan of, but I respect it in some ways for being musically, acceptable and musically very accomplished, but it's not really my thing. How about you, Mr. Eddie?
Well, as I said before, I like Will You Be There, and I it can't like you can consider Will You Be There to at least part as a gospel song or something, and this is like Keep the Faith is a gospel song again, or with gospel elements in it at least, and I mean, it just doesn't sound like, I don't know, one gospel song should have been enough. I mean, I would have if I would have to choose one of the two songs, like Will You Be There or Keep the Faith, I would have chosen Will You Be There and thrown Keep the Faith out, even though I don't think that Keep the Faith is a bad song. It's just, yeah, I don't know, it's just like overshadowed by Will You Be There. And generally, I like the verses, and I like Michael's strong voice and the choir, or the Andre Couch Singers, or Crouch Singers, or something, however you pronounce that. That's really cool about it. But no, I'm not too big fan of that song. The Bon Jovi song is definitely 100% better, even though I'm not even a Bon Jovi fan. Not really, at least. I mean, I have that greatest hits, but nothing else. Yeah, and this leads us to the second to last song on the album, which is called Gone Too Soon. And this song was actually dedicated to Ryan White, who died due to AIDS in 1990. I mean, I think pretty much every American knows about him. I don't think I have to explain a lot about that. So I just go into the song. Yeah, I mean, the only positive thing about the song is Michael didn't write it, so we can't blame him for that, for at least not for writing it. Because it's so fucking cheesy. It's like, I mean, for me, that's either more cheesy than Heal the World or Will You Be There or something. I don't like the song. I really don't like the song all that much. It's I don't know. I mean, it's like the vocal performance by Michael is great again, but yeah, I just basically, it's mostly because I have like problems with the lyrics or something, because the lyrics are so cheesy. I mean, they are like they sound like a bad song from a bad Disney movie or something. And Disney movies are mostly known for having cheesy songs in it, except for maybe The Lion King or something. So I don't really like the song all that much. What do you think, Greg?
This song is just, it's just, look, I know about the Ryan White thing, I got a little book about him and everything, and it's like, I was reading it, and contrary to popular belief, it wasn't it wasn't, organ failure and pneumonia that did him in, but rather him hearing this song.
Oh, yeah, and that makes absolutely sense since he died in 1990 and the song was released in 91.
Yeah, well, he heard an early version of it. And yeah, this song is, look, I appreciate the sentiment and everything, but it's just so, it's worse, much worse than Heal the World, and I hate that song. This one is the worst song off the album by far. It's just, it's so cheesy, and it's like, I can't stand it. I'm sorry. I really do not like it at all. Oh, definitely the worst song for me. And we close out the album Dangerous with the title song. Track 14 of 14. And wow, I tell you, what a relief hearing this. Past couple songs have been either very cheesy, sugary songs or gospel-y things and just slow songs. But here we finally get an up-tempo song. It's a great song. I love the arrangement of it, and it's catchy. I love the choruses, and it's not my absolute favorite, but compared to some of the other stuff on this album, I'll gladly take this any day. So I give it a good rating. I like the song generally. How about you?
Dangerous, it's a cool song. Like a long instrumental intro. It's really dark, or it's not dark, but it sounds mysterious a little bit. And then I like Michael singing with his lower voice. At least the verses are sung with his lower voice. The lyrics are kind of similar to Dirty Diana from the Bad album, but the melody, of course, and the genre is definitely different. I like it sounds like an early 90s song, which is not bad at all. I mean, it doesn't bother me, at least. I also like during the song when Michael does his typically Michael Jackson noises, as I call it. I mean, you'll get it when you listen to the song in general. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely better than some of the previous songs, and it's definitely the song that was right before Dangerous, Gone Too Soon and stuff. It's way better than that. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool way to close an album or something, end an album. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about the title track of the album. Okay, now we come to the final conclusions, final thoughts, and rating of the album. Do you want to start? Since I think I started talking about the first song, so you can actually start giving your final impression or thoughts on the album.
Well, for me, this album kind of jumped in terms of how I think of the songs and stuff. It was very erratic throughout the times I've had this album. There's times where some of the songs I previously liked, I don't, and flip-flopped around. So what I'm saying is, if I were to have reviewed this album, say, 5 years ago, it would be a lot different than what I think of this now. Out of the 4 Michael Jackson albums I have physically, this one is my least favorite. As you could hear, there were songs that I don't like at all, which I never really have said anything like that on any of the other ones. But here, there's songs that I openly don't like. Then there's others that I just don't care for that much, even though they're not horrible. But there's some songs I absolutely love, and you know, is it a great album? I don't think so. It's Michael had to change the sound up, keeping with the times, attract more, listeners, younger listeners, stay relevant with everybody. Um, so I understand these change in sound and the change in producers. Um, but I think it kind of, you know, made the quality of the songs suffer a bit, and some of the songwriting isn't really up to par. But for the most part, it's certainly listenable. There's quite a few great songs. Um, Overall, out of 10, I would give it a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. It's not great, but hey, it has plenty of good stuff on it. Just has some bad stuff. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. How about you?
Well, it's definitely this album is actually pretty like definitely inferior to like Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. I mean, it's kind of like here's the thing. I like pretty much all of the songs on Thriller and all of the songs on Bad. Yeah, Dangerous has quite a few songs that I don't really like, or that I don't like at all, and which is not really that good. I mean, there are worse albums by Michael Jackson later on, but up so far from Off the Wall to Dangerous, Dangerous is the worst album, and it's my least favorite album out of all the four. It still is. I mean, it's not really horrible. I mean, it's still listenable, and some of the songs are really good. And my top of my favorite Michael Jackson songs at all, in general. But it's just like some songs. I don't know. They don't really have to. Shouldn't have been on the album. I mean, the album is like it has like 14 songs. I mean, a few songs less wouldn't have been bad or something. So yeah, and if I have to rate the album from 1 point to 10 points or something, I would give it 7.5 point because it's I mean, it's not perfect. It's not like, I don't know, earlier Michael Jackson albums, but it's still considerably good. And so yeah, that's my final conclusion about the album. So there you go. That's pretty much everything I had to say. Anything else from you, or are you done?
Really no. I think you covered, what you need to cover, and I think we did all we could do for this. So what I'm gonna say now is, if you're still listening to us, thank you for listening to this episode, and check us out next week. We may have either an album review or a little special surprise up there. And, it's going to be a bit different. So who knows? Will it be a review of music or a different kind of show? So please stay tuned next week.
Oh yes, and if you want to know a little bit more about the surprise, then listen to the beginning of the very first episode of the Scorpions album, Lonesome Crow, because I think we mentioned that before. not like the surprise. If you are as bad about the surprises as I am, because I hate surprises. I always have to find
Well,
out
way to
what.
ruin the fucking surprise.
Oh yes, yeah. I want to ruin the surprise for all your listeners. No, no more hints or something. If you're too lazy to click on the Scorpions album review, then don't do it. You don't. It's not 100% necessary or something. Um, but still, it was pretty nice to review Dangerous with you, and you see that everybody can see that, like, even, I mean, we both have talked about different musical genres or artists or something, and like I would say like 80% or 70 or 80% of the time we would actually agree how we think about certain songs or certain albums or something. Um, on this album we had some different opinions on certain songs, but that's just okay, except for Greg really sucks for not liking Heal the World, but that's okay. I mean, I don't.
Hey, you suck for liking it, so there you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we should better end this episode before any of our listeners, I don't know, feels offended because I just told you that you suck for not liking Heal the World, and maybe they don't like Heal the World either. So maybe I'm all alone, the only person liking Heal the World, and I don't really care. So yeah, that's what I want to say. Yeah, thank you for, if you made it so far, if you could handle listening to us and going listening to the whole episode or something. And it would really like for you to check us out next week on a new episode, and who knows what we will be talking who knows what we will be talking about next week. So just, yeah, I don't know, like, wait and see. That's all I have to say. And we would like to end this episode by saying bye bye.
Bye bye, and see you next week.